Greetings world. We are anonymous. After 20 years of battling the U.S. government for use of his family's land, a Nevada rancher's one-man range war may soon end. The family says heavily armed federal agents have surrounded the ranch as trespass cattle are removed from the disputed land. Cliven Bundy, the last rancher in Clark County, Nevada, has, since 1993, refused to pay fees to the federal government for the right to raise cattle on land his family has ranched since the 1870s, according to the Washington Free Beacon. After years of legal wrangling, the Bureau of Land Management attained a federal court order to have the Bundys' nearly 1,000 head of cattle removed, according to the family. Bundy says the government is taking the task seriously, arming the agents with military-style weaponry. They're carrying the same things a soldier would, he told the Free Beacon. Automatic weapons, sniper rifles, top communication, top surveillance equipment, lots of vehicles. It's heavy soldier-type equipment. Carol Bundy, Cliven's wife, said hundreds of armed Bureau of Land Management and Federal Bureau of Investigation agents are set up around their property as helicopters circle the area and nearby roads remain off-limits. Carol Bundy stated, "We're surrounded. We're estimating that there are over 200 armed Bureau of Land Management and Federal Bureau of Investigation agents. They got surveillance cameras at our house. They are probably listening to me talk to you right now." The government agents and their contractors have seized 234 of the 908 cattle. The removal will cost the federal government as much as $3 million, the Free Beacon reported. This battle has been going on for 20 years, Cliven Bundy said. He also stated, "What has happened the last 2 weeks, the United States government, the bureaus are getting this army together, and they are going to get their job done, and they are going to prove two things. They are going to prove that they can do it, and they are going to prove that they have unlimited power to do it, and that they control the policing power over this and all public land. That is what they are going to prove." The family said their son, Dave Bundy, was arrested for taking photos of State Road 170, which had been closed by the Bureau of Land Management. Dave was aggressively apprehended by officials for failure to comply with multiple requests by the Bureau of Land Management law enforcement to leave the temporary closure area on public lands. Carol Bundy said 5 agents took Dave and threw him on the ground. One put his knee on his head, the other put his boot on his head and pushed him into the gravel, she said. "He's got quite a bruised head. Just bruised him up pretty good." A National Park Service spokesperson denied that armed guards were confiscating cattle, though she did confirm security is present to keep contractors safe after they supposedly received threats. "Contractors are here, and they are in place to round up the cattle and to bring them to the impound area," Christy Vanover said. "As for security, there is security in place, but that is merely to protect the contractors." Bureau of Land Management defends their actions in removing the trespass cattle as necessary, since Bundy did not voluntarily move the cattle after refusing to pay back fees for use of the land. In 1998, the Bureau of Land Management designated 186,909 acres of the Gold Butte area, where the ranch is, as critical for the survival of the desert tortoise population. Bundy had lost his grazing permit in 1993, despite his family's longtime presence on the land. Bureau of Land Management says Bundy owes around $1 million in fees, while the family contends that the sum is more like $300,000. "I'm a producer," Cliven said. "I produce edible commodity from the desert forage, and all of these things are governed under state law. So, in other words, this type of government has eliminated all of our state law, eliminated our state sovereignty, and has took control over our public lands, and even took control over our Clark County sheriff. They have taken the whole county over. The whole state, almost." The Bundys said their appeals to local and state law enforcement and other authorities have proved futile. "This is just about the power of the government," Carol said. "Our sheriff says he just doesn't have authority. Our governor says he doesn't have authority. And we're saying, why are we a state?" asked Carol. In a further display of power, the Bureau of Land Management has cordoned off First Amendment areas as designated spots where demonstrators are allowed by the Bureau of Land Management. together and protest the action. This aspect of the cattle removal has caught the attention of Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval. Most disturbing to me is the Bureau of Land Management's establishment of a First Amendment area that tramples upon Nevadans' fundamental rights under the U.S. Constitution, Brian Sandoval said in a statement. To that end, I have advised the Bureau of Land Management that such conduct is offensive to me and countless others, and that the First Amendment area should be dismantled immediately, Brian Sandoval said. No cow justifies the atmosphere of intimidation which currently exists, or the limitation of constitutional rights that are sacred to all Nevadans. The Bureau of Land Management needs to reconsider its approach to this matter and act accordingly. Sandoval added that his office had received other complaints about the Bureau of Land Management, including road closings and other disturbances. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. To the Bureau of Land Management and the Federal Bureau of Investigation agents, Anonymous will look into what is the action and motives behind your treason on an innocent. So be very well prepared to expect that.